we've all played a bunch of those places.
Well, they didn't have wands back in those days, though, did they? They did have the guy sitting at the front door. He said, "You got a gun?" "No, sir." "You got a knife?" "No, sir." "Sign up right here and we'll get you one."
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall. Something in my
Hey, everybody, I'm Uncle Dave Griffin along with Sean Clark on Something in the Water. And our guests this time from Alma, Georgia, John and Rhonda Bennett. Good to have y'all.
Glad
Thank
to be
you.
here. Glad to be here.
Blueberry farmers.
Yeah.
That's your real job.
That's my real job. Yeah. Yeah.
And also, y'all are musicians.
Yep.
And
Fine musicians. Been around,
Long
been in
time.
the business
Yeah.
a
Long
while.
time. Long
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
So, John, I guess first time I heard about you was the Bushman
Yeah.
band. Which is,
Actually, it's been 33 years. And not the same guys, but the same. Four of us have been together 33 years. And one of the drummers, 20 something. And we had another drummer early on, Ricky Gerard, who's he moved away, and bless his heart, he's had some major health problems. But one of the actually played with Gatlin Brothers. He's a great drummer,
And
great
Alabama.
singer. Yeah, in Alabama.
Cool.
They had a drummer that was going to take a sabbatical and play with the New York Symphony or something, and Ricky tried out and got the job.
How about that?
He's since got some major health problems and is not able to play. But
He wasn't the drummer in Alabama that quit right before they became famous, is he?
No, his was much later.
no, he was
Full of
He's
regret.
a dear friend and great drummer, singer, good singer.
He's historically in these parts, or all around the Southeast, the Bushmen were a name.
When I was growing up, Rodney Mills was the music guy, producer. That was a bass player in the Bushmen, and he married Mary Carter, and Mary Carter lives about 2 miles from my house, and me and Mary's brother Stacy would talk Mary's dad into Texas when they played in Douglas, and I used to go listen to the Bushmen. That's another thing that made me want to do it. I was 13, 14 years old, and they're all 5, 6 years older than me. And anyway, Junior Adams and Joey Adams, Dennis from over here, were two brothers in the Bushmen. They're all cousins. And Tommy Kennedy was a guitar player, and then Harry Aldridge, and they Tommy went on to be a surgeon. Then when he got out of college, they basically kind of quit because they all were going to do other things. And anyway, John Adams got the Junior. Everybody called him Junior. He got the band back together a couple of times. Anyway, and Ricky Gerard was actually playing with them in Douglas, and when he put the band back together, and they called me to go play with them, and I thought, boy, oh boy, I'm going to do this. You know?
Doggone right.
Yeah, so we've been doing it for 30-something years, and we used to do 25, 30 dates a year, and now we do about 10. So.
I filled in maybe for you one time. I played with the Bushmen in Statesboro. This was probably around 83 or 84.
Yeah.
And
I started at 89.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The keyboard player at that time was the professor out at college. What was that guy's name? Joel something?
Yeah.
Joel.
I remember
I can't
hearing him tell
remember his
about
name,
that,
but
yeah.
and
It probably was Junior and
was
Joey, the dentist from over here. Joey, wasn't his name?
But I played bass, I believe.
Yeah, and
wasn't that
Tony Cason played
Joey's
with him
instrument?
too, I think.
Wasn't that Joey's instrument?
No, he was a
Bass?
drummer.
Joey was the drummer.
He was a drummer. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And Junior, that heart problems runs in that family. And
Yeah, I remember
Junior
that.
was
Junior.
He'd had when I first started, he had some heart issues, and he actually died while I was playing with him. And then we carried on. And not long after that, Joey died. Just died. You know.
Wow.
So, great guys. Great guys. I
Joey
didn't know
was-
Joey very well, but Junior and I were best friends, and he was a hot dog on stage now. Yeah, he was good. I mean, he's a good front man. Yes, sir.
Joey was married to Bruce Wood's sister-in-law,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Brenda.
Yeah.
And let's see. Rodney Mills was in the original group.
That's
He
right.
was the producer for
A lot of people.
38 Special and a lot of different
Atlanta Rhythm
bands.
Section.
Yeah,
He actually produced the Little River Band, I think.
he did.
Yeah.
He
Did a bunch of
lives. I
stuff
think
with
he lives
Allman
in
Brothers, and he's-
Fernandina now.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of folks have from around here have moved over there in old Fernandina. That was all of our stomping grounds when we were young.
We used to play. I started out playing there was a band in Alma called the Reverbs.
The Reverbs.
The Reverbs. And
Sounds like a 60s
yeah,
band.
yeah. And it was Johnny Wheeler, Gary Graham, Bill Johnson, and Mike Thompson, and who was the other one? Anyway, Mike was going to tech in electronics. Got a job with a telephone company in Albany. I was 15 at the time, and I had started playing the guitar a little bit. They asked me to join the band. That's all it took. So I quit playing football the next day.
Gary Graham, isn't he the Alma newspaper guy?
Yeah, he's retired now, but that's who it was. Yeah, he was a pretty good singer, and they were practicing trying to put a band together in the lobby of the. This is a story they tell. That was before me, but they were in the lobby of the gym in Alma, and Gary Graham and Ronald Hutto came by, and they were going to be the Righteous Brothers. And Ronald couldn't sing, so Gary stayed on and sang with the Reverbs. Well, when I got with them, they wanted to change the name, so they changed the name to the Change of Minds.
The Change of Minds.
Change of Minds, and you look at those band, garage band.
Yeah,
things,
Southern Garage
Yeah, it's
Band
listed
thing.
in
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Oh
And,
yeah, those
we did
guys
that-
they are quite extensive.
Yeah, a bunch
They
of bands.
really get into the history.
Yeah. Anyway, we did that for a few years, and then Johnny had to go to service, and they just stopped for a little bit, and we put back together. We were the Sons of Soul. We had a black singer. This was in '70.
Okay.
Black singer and black trombone player, and we had two horns, and we had trumpet and sax, and then added a trombone later. It was 7 of us,
Wow.
and we played a lot of different places, and that was pretty controversial in the '70s. You know,
I bet you all sounded good too.
we did. Well, I think we did. Johnny's got an old tape that we did at the radio station, and it's not recorded very well, but it was not bad at all. Not bad at all. The guy that sang with us, he has since died, and but we did that for I don't know, a couple of years maybe, and then
That's when your music wagon was a hearse.
yeah, I meant to bring you a picture of that.
Man, I always wanted one of them, especially with the Pine Box Dwellers.
Wasn't it, Neil Young, or didn't Neil Young come from
Yeah.
Canada in a hearse?
Yeah.
We had the black funeral home there. There's a guy named Lafette Mosby, and he was a good friend of our family. And anyway, he bought him a new hearse, and that old Cadillac hearse sat under a shelter out there. And one of the guys spotted that thing. We bought it from him for $100.
Oh,
Wow.
Put a battery in it, and never did anything but drive it. 49 Cadillac hearse. And while we got rid of that old thing,
Did it have a back seat?
no, it had rollers for the casket.
Right.
Roll equipment right up in there.
That's why I was like, well, if it had a back seat, we could all ride. And then have,
How did people respond to that when you came driving up?
We got a lot of
Looks.
Yeah, a lot of looks. We used to play at a place called the Golden Sands in Fernandina.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
place,
and we were going down there, and back in those days, Big 8 radio
Yes.
was a big deal. And anyway, they advertised, the gigs, and the people were doing around on Big 8 Radio, and we were riding along, had our Beatle boots up on the dash. Yeah. And this whole carload of girls came by about the time the spot came on. Hey, there they are.
Sat up real tall.
I'm surprised y'all didn't change your name to the Crypt Kickers or something like that.
We had it was a lot of fun.
Pine Box
during those
Dwellers would
days.
have been good.
Yeah, that's why I want one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you.
You about the same age I am, Dave, so you can recall that playing back in those days was surely a lot of fun.
It was.
Yes,
It was innocent times.
Yes, it was.
More people give they liked it more.
Yeah.
Music entertainment.
Well, that's what we did on the weekends.
Yeah.
If you could find a place to go hear a band, that's what you did. That was the highlight of stuff.
And it was back when the industry was working.
Yeah.
Everything about it was working. You cut a record, you stick it in the back of your trunk, and you drive to the next radio tower and you hand them one. And you tried it. That's how you got your sold yourself, and you toured. I mean, you sign, you record, you tour, and you make big money.
Yeah.
And
We didn't ever do any of that.
life. Well, that was the way the industry worked.
That's right.
And
I
all
always
of
fussed
us,
at Junior. Why didn't y'all have a double shot?
yeah,
The Swinging Days and the Bushman were big bands during that time. The only difference, actually, the Bushman were much better, but that's here and there. That's better. They were good. No, I don't want to talk
now was
about
Rodney Mills the only original Bushman that went on into music, or was
Yeah.
okay,
Now Harry, he played music his whole life.
right,
Yeah.
but as far as at a level of
Well, now Harry played with Martin
Notoriety.
Rissap. He played bass with Martin Rissap a little while.
okay.
I think plays with Dennis Yoke for a while.
yeah.
And and then he quit for a lot of years, and he actually, when I started playing, he moved to Brunswick, and so Junior told me one day, he said, "We're going to get Harry to come play with us," and great, because he was a great singer, great guitar player, and he did that for a lot of years, and about 3 years ago he retired.
Boy, he loves the Beatles.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
yes, sir. He knows a lot about that old music too. He really does.
I dated Rodney Mills' niece maybe once or twice. She's from Blackshear. I think she was actually kin to the lady Mary from Alma.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a Lee though. She was so I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but so what's your history? What's your background as far as music
Country
goes?
gospel music,
Yeah.
and in the church.
Now,
choral
are
stuff.
you were you from Alma?
From Hazelhurst?
Hazelhurst, okay. And
And when I was 14, I wasn't allowed to date anybody from Bacon County.
oh,
No, because after every sporting event, there was a fight of some sort, either on the field or the parents in the parking lot. And my mother said, "You can't date anybody from Bacon County."
And she met me.
Then I met him, and yeah,
so how long have y'all known each other?
23 years.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, been married 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a long test drive before we decided for those marriage vows.
So, it's smart.
Yeah, because now if he does anything that's slightly irritating, you married me anyway.
That's right.
It's my
you
fault.
know. Well, you was probably irritated before you even got married. As long as y'all were together, it's like
Yeah, we worked most of that out.
the lights.
Yeah. Yeah,
Turn the light off.
It's amazing what a good relationship we do have.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. I know y'all have been kind of a role models around here. Y'all are a lovely couple. And
Quick story, and then you get back to her.
okay.
We were at the creek one night. And of course, we know playing with
The Creek,
Reed.
wait a second. The Creek is a local nightclub, local restaurant bar.
Yeah. Anyway, Reed band used to play over there, and he asked me one time, "You want to play with us?" The bass player couldn't play or whatever, and so me and her started singing what we could with them, and we got to know everybody at the creek because he played the creek a lot, you know. And this was several years later, and we'd go in there, "How y'all doing?" and everything. So we were over eating supper one night, I don't remember who was playing, but 5 or 6 of the girls, waitresses came over and told us that we've decided that when we grow up, we want to be like Miss Rhonda.
I think they should have set their goals a little higher than that.
Well, that is I would tend to agree with them.
Thank you.
I would think that's
You're very kind.
That's a very nice goal.
Tell us
So,
your dad's bunch and all.
Well, my dad has been in music most of his life.
Yeah.
And do y'all know what sacred harp music is? The shaved notes.
yes,
Okay. So Dad
yes,
could do all of that, sing the name of the note in the song. They wouldn't sing the words to the song. So I grew up around all of that and go into singing conventions. Like Stamps Publishing Company would put out a convention songbook like twice or 3 times a year. And you would go to a church and everybody would sit in their parts, in the church. They would and sight read music for 3 and 4 hours because nobody had ever seen this music before. It had just come out, unless the songwriter happened to be there. And they would assign somebody to get up and lead it. And my brother played the piano very, very well and sight read very, very well. So he played the piano quite a lot. Yeah. So we spent most of our Sunday afternoons at churches for homecomings or singing conventions.
Is that like primitive Baptist churches?
No,
or
First Baptist, a lot of First Baptists, and a lot of Pentecostal churches did that too. So,
were you bored to tears, or did you embrace it?
oh, I enjoyed it. And it was fun. I started singing on the end of the piano stool when I was 3. Now, Lord knows what I sounded like, and I hope there are no recordings out there. But I didn't really ever go through that stage fright thing because they just would
It was
sit
a natural
sit me up
thing
there, and my
for you,
brother
yeah.
would play, and I'd sing, and so
So, when did you? So you started in the church, yeah. So
and everything that went on at school, anything that was musical at school or community.
What was your taste as growing up? I spent a lot of time with the transistor radio.
Oh, yeah.
Myself, and just went to bed with it under my pillow and all that stuff. I think that's something that our entire generation did.
Sure.
But what music inspired you other than the
Broadway.
church?
Broadway stuff.
Yeah.
Musical, like the theater.
Yeah. Okay. Did you end up liking any pop? Popular, Beatles, Stones, Eagles,
Not much.
that kind of stuff?
Not much.
Really?
I really wasn't introduced to that till much later in
How
life.
about that? That's interesting.
And something about, I don't know where I was the whole decade of the 80s.
Yeah.
80s music plays now, and I'm just,
Clueless.
yeah. I enjoy watching on XM so I can see who sang that. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, so I guess y'all's relationship was forged in music too,
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
right?
Right.
So y'all put a band together immediately, or were just
Charles, our guitar player, Charles Whitley, and I've been playing together 33 years. He lived in Daytona, and he moved back here. And so we were still doing the Bushman thing, but it was not every weekend. Good gigs, we didn't play anything but good gigs, and they were kind of getting not as plentiful as they used to be. And so when Charles came back, we said, we'll put a trio together. And so we started getting together and figuring out what we could do so we could play some gigs, lower paying gigs, whatever, in between the big gigs. And so we were together at that time, and it just evolved.
And we had Wally Gator too.
Yeah, Wally Gator.
yeah.
You remember Wally Gator?
I do. Yeah.
Oh man, he was a hoot. Good singer. Good.
Was that Rhonda and the Relics, or did it
Yeah.
start off? Okay, that was the trio.
It started off as Pearl. That was the name of Pearl.
That's right.
Ron gave
I
me
remember
name.
that. I remember.
Yeah.
He'd always called you Pearl.
Pearl. Yeah.
Who?
Pearl. Wally Gator.
Wally Gator
Wally
called
Gator,
me
yeah.
Pearl.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't have no idea. But maybe
It's
I never
the
wanted to
earrings.
know.
If you ever-
It could be.
If you'd ever been around Wally,
It just
Things
don't-
didn't need
it
a
don't
reason. They
matter.
just bubbled out. Yeah.
yeah, he was something. He
I
really
bet you first time he did that, you said, "What? Why?"
We'd been playing somewhere, and I'd look over to her, and she's about to bust a laughing. And while I
He
was
was
singing,
sitting in this ear
and Wally was on that
talking
side,
to
and
me.
somebody walk in, and he'd have something. He could have been a stand-up comic. No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt. He actually was.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
Wally played.
There's one in every band, usually.
Wally made his whole life playing music for a living. He played, 15 years with Billy Joe Schaefer. One of the best drummers
Really?
I've ever worked with.
Wow.
Dang.
He traveled all over and came back down with a bunch of good stores and that was about
Yeah.
it.
Is he still with us?
No, he died.
Oh.
Wally got cancer, and he didn't have the money to get he didn't have the money to get treatment started because they didn't want to start treatment if he couldn't do a new experimental drug, and it was going to take $7,000 or $8,000 to do that. He just didn't have the money, so we did a benefit at my house. We're going to do it at the Pond House. Y'all been at the Pond House before. We're going to do it there, but that day it stormed, and we had a bunch of folks from Jacksonville that Wally had played with. I don't know, there was probably 12 or 15 musicians
At least.
And we had
Bruce came over
Yeah.
and played, yeah.
we had 130 people in my living room.
Well,
And the
living
kitchen.
room, kitchen room, TV
And,
room. I mean, that many people, they spread out everywhere. But there was nowhere else for them to go because it was storming outside.
And we just played swap songs. You can look at it on YouTube. John and Rhonda's house concerts. Wally Gator.
Now, is that where the house concerts were all at the Pond House?
no,
No.
at our house.
At your
house.
house. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were going to do that
Yeah.
at the Pond House. But
Because
weather was
I've
too
been
bad.
to your house.
Yeah.
At one of, I believe it's a house concert.
Yeah.
I think it was more like a jam session.
was.
It
Yeah.
wasn't anybody
I think Paul came that night. But y'all-
featured.
Yeah, that's right.
necessarily.
We actually had Billy Dean at the house.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
house
Y'all
concert.
have. Is that the biggest up the ladder? that
Yeah,
you
well,
go?
Jack
Yeah.
Williams has been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Does the festival scene, or did. He doesn't anymore.
Jack Williams.
Jack
You
Williams.
had somebody his name escapes me. But
Grayson Caps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had
he's been there a
Grayson a
couple
couple of times.
I didn't know you had him out there, but
And,
another guy that's similar, singer songwriter.
Oh, from Savannah area.
Yeah,
Victor.
Culbertson.
Culberson.
Eric
Eric
Culberson.
Culberson.
Eric Culberson. That's
Yeah.
Leo
I
Neal's
know him,
old.
but that's not what I'm talking about either.
Yeah, Lee played with him for a while.
Lee something.
I don't know.
Lee Greenwood.
Maybe I'm getting it confused that it was somebody that you was playing me, and I thought that they played out.
But anyway, you can look at that stuff on YouTube. It's John and Rhonda's house concerts. A bunch of stuff is on there from that.
That was you bought that Zoom camera.
Zoom camera.
Yeah.
Recording device. I
And
bought
is
the
that-
little audio thing.
Yeah, and it's outdated now, big time.
Oh God, ain't it?
I saw they got a new one out or something
Oh, they always gonna come up.
Yeah.
I gotta have this. Gotta have
Yeah.
this. But anyway,
every year.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I've been doing the last 3 or 4 years, and I've been doing amateurish leather working. And I made a bunch of different things. I made y'all something.
What?
I made y'all let me get this right. I made y'all they're almost identical, but they're artistically unique. Again,
What the heck?
Man, are you kidding?
Look at that.
That's awesome.
works good for
God.
microphone cables and different things like that. Y'all,
Wow.
they're both about the same.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's what this. What is this? It's like for hanging keys on.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I always love to do.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Made especially for you by John Bennett.
God, no, this is terrific.
And then
That's
he makes
great,
me
John.
this because I don't do fashion purses. They're workhorses. And every time I want something, he just adds it to it. And this is about the third
Oh
one.
my God!
Yeah.
I'm gonna commission you to do my wife one because she complains all the time about purses and their lack of.
Well, I hope y'all enjoy it because we
Oh, man.
This is
we
great.
we got
This
all
is
our
great.
junk that we play with in bags like that, and it works out real well.
It does.
When I sashay,
Now, your wife will want
when I
that one.
sashay into the bar with this on, somebody's gonna kill me.
I'll have to hide this from the wife. She
Same here. Yeah,
But that's not all. He's made
Justin-
guitar straps.
Yeah.
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 I
the-
made this
I
one.
saw a guitar strap you made for somebody. It's,
I made one for Josh.
Josh Kirkland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first one I made.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
That's fancy. That was the very first one?
That's the very first one.
Look at
Yeah.
that. That's very soft.
Yeah, it's
Leather
just-
right there in the middle, the white.
It's something to do.
Well, it all is. It's
Somebody
all
said, "You
soft.
never sell any of that stuff?" I said, "I'd make about 50 cents
Gone,
an hour."
son.
I just like making
So
it, giving
this
it away.
is just
That's awesome.
It's 3 pieces of leather.
cut. You cut it.
Cut it and sew
You
it.
stitch it.
Yeah, I got
We
a
have
sew-
lots of cowhides at our house.
Really?
All different colors of cowhides at our
You
house.
buy the cowhides.
Yeah.
And I didn't, when I first started, I didn't know how.
Yeah.
And I bought a bunch of stuff that's not much good, but I'll use it up along. But it's the difficult thing about that is knowing the description of it, knowing what you're going to end up with. You get a piece in that's on sale, and you say, yeah, this will be great, and it won't be something, it wasn't what you thought it was. But anyway.
He
it's
bought
lot
a
of-
big stand-up sewing machine. I mean, it would make saddles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge thing.
And it's just something to do, you know.
That's
I don't see how
Pretty
you find
cool.
time.
Well, I when you first called me about this, I said, I'm going to make them something.
Well,
And I worked on it off and on for a month.
Oh,
Off
wow.
and on. I
He'll
said-
periodically come in, how would you sew this? Because my mother was a master seamstress, but I never sewed anything like that. But we did draperies and stuff like that. But he'll ask me, and then he'll go back and try it and come in. He's doing quite well.
yeah. I'm telling you, this is
It won't ever wear out.
fantastic. Yeah.
I'm going to use the heck out of mine.
Rivets.
Eddie Bedgood said the difference in, y'all know Eddie, don't you?
Yeah.
The difference in that and something you buy in the store is artistically
Imperfect. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. It sounds like a good description for me.
Yeah. Anyway, we've really enjoyed the Rhonda Relics thing, and we got to get one gig next month, I think, but we don't get to do it a lot anymore. COVID messed it up for us all, you know.
Yeah, it did, but I'm coming back
It's
from
coming
it.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a good year for me this year,
Yeah.
as opposed to 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago was the COVID shutdown and everything that went with it. Health things too happened to me in that year. It all rolled into one big bad year.
Yeah.
And I'm tickled to death that we're kind of beyond all of that now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's
It was something
when you
comes
get out-
along every 100 years. Well,
when you get our age and
we're
you
lucky.
still go out and play and people enjoy what you do, it's a blessing.
it
really
is. It
And you can get
certainly
out of bed
is.
the next
You
morning.
get out of
Yeah,
bed.
yeah.
We'll play until we get to where we can't tote the equipment anymore.
That's right. I think so. I think so.
I think so.
Lordy. I'm going to pull back the magic curtain, folks. Now, today is my birthday.
Yeah.
Although November the 1st is not my birthday.
That's when this will come
So-
out.
Today is
Pre-recorded.
September 1st. And I turned 69. So
Yeah.
that's that's Mugu Gaipan on the Wong's Palace menu. Number 69. And
the summer of
it is a
69.
blessing. It
Oh,
is a
yeah.
blessing
Yeah.
to still do this.
Yeah.
We're doggone. We're going to Macon, Georgia, the music capital of Georgia, tomorrow to play a gig
At
with these
Grant's.
guys at Grant's Lounge. I'm telling you, it's just like lucky man.
Yeah. That's the way we
great.
feel. I'll tell you. And it would be so easy when you get older to do like a lot of folks do and just kind of give it up, you know. But you can't do that. You just got to keep going.
Well, some of us can't, like you said, others do.
Oh,
And I don't see how they do it. But it's
But you
just
can see
in
a
you.
little bit of jealousy when they come to see you play and you're still doing it. I
That's
wish
right.
I could. I wish I hadn't quit.
Yeah, I've had a lot of friends quit along the way, and
Yeah.
and it delights them when you say, "Well, sit in with us a little bit."
Yes.
And I try to do that as much as I can because, they don't ever get to do it. So you get them up on stage to do it with you. That's a great thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do with myself if I couldn't play music. So.
Yeah.
Tell us, y'all, what your best music experience was, whether it was, I know you said that you've had Billy Dean at a house concert before and all. Was it somewhere you played or who you played with or anything like that? Or
Well,
did you rub shoulders with anybody that,
yeah.
yeah.
With the Bushmen, we played with the Tams, we played with the Drifters, we played with a bunch of folks like that, and that was pretty neat. But when I first started, one of the things that's, and Gary Graham and those guys that I played with will tell you the same thing. We somehow they got a gig booked over at Georgia Southern College in the old gymnasium.
Hannerfield. Hannerfield.
Hannerfield House.
Yeah. And anyway, we got there, and we walked in that place. They had it was like decorating for a junior senior prom. The change of minds was a big old banner up there over the stage. You know, we thought,
We have arrived.
yeah, and they must have been 1,500 people there that night.
Good
It was
Lord.
a huge crowd. And I got no idea how good the music was. It's been a long, long time. We thought it was pretty good, but
Yeah.
that's a highlight. And the Bushmen actually, this was way before me. They actually played at Georgia Southern Gym with the Rolling Stones. First tour the Rolling Stones did, and y'all read those articles?
Oh, yeah.
Harry tells about it, and Junior told me all about it. So it's pretty impressive. They blew them off the stage.
Wow.
Greg Haynes didn't book that, did he?
Who?
Greg Haynes, the
I don't know.
Georgia boy that put out that book, Hey Baby, Days of Beach Music.
Yeah, I don't
he
know.
was from here.
And you know-
he did some promotion
Yeah.
in high school. But
We're in that book.
yeah,
And
we are too.
Yeah, and we didn't really take it seriously enough. We could have given him a bunch of stuff and been in it a bunch more, but we didn't really.
I'm in there twice. Once with Eddie Middleton and Down Home, and I think once with Rhythm Oil. I believe.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a big old coffee table book.
is.
It's
And,
about that thick and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
heavily-
CDs in it
Yeah.
as well in the back, audio CDs.
Yeah, so
That was a big time, man.
Yeah.
Beach music in the South was that was major.
yeah, we used to go over a place over around Swainsboro. What was the name of that skating rink deal they turned into? What was the name of that place?
Swainsboro.
And played with the Drifters and played with the
Something's
Swinging
Pond.
Medallions. Yeah, something pond.
Wait a minute.
Kenny's Pond.
McKinney's
McKinney's-
Pond.
I think
McKinney's-
I've been to that
Yeah.
recently
Yeah.
because we played. I played at that place y'all do in Swainsboro,
Bernie's.
Bernie's on
They play
West
there.
Main,
Yeah,
and afterwards, me and Lynn and another couple
it's
was
not
looking
far
for
from there.
something to do,
not far
and they
from
said a lake right out the highway there,
yeah, yeah.
and so well,
Kenny's Pond.
McKinney's
His
Pond.
pond. That's what it
Yeah.
was called, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Boy, it was something else now. There was some rowdy folks out there. It's a big mixture of black and white, too. And the music was DJ'd, and it was definitely primarily rap.
Yeah.
And they had to wand you to go in the door.
Yeah.
Wow.
What did it say?
Wow.
Make sure you're not toting.
Yeah.
And
We've all played a bunch of those places.
well, they didn't have wands back in those days, though, did they? They did have the guy sitting at the front door. He said, "You got a gun? No, sir. You got a knife? No, sir. Sign up right here, and we'll get you one."
Yeah. After the change of mind stopped, Johnny was going to Georgia Southern, and he called me one day and said, "You want to play bass with Fred Hand?" And he was teaching school at the time, and I was in college at the time. And yeah, so we went to VFW and we played with him, made more money than we ever made. I mean, we were just amazed. Seemed like we made $125 a piece, and that was in 1972 or 3 or something like that, and which was big money. 'Cause in the early days, you made $25-$30, you did well. But it didn't go a lot longer too. You go a lot further.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did that for 14, 15 years, played with Fred.
The Fred Hand Band.
Yeah. And we were a house band over in Hazelhurst for a while, and we played here and yonder, and we played over in Albany one night. Had an old van that we drove, and coming up the hill where the sign goes left to Ambrose, coming into Douglas, we ran out of gas. Nobody had cell phones. Folks were expecting us to come in. We didn't venture off very far back in those days. We, 2.5 hour away, and we went up to the little station there in the house and beat on. Y'all get out of here! I'm gonna call the law. There wouldn't nobody help us, and so we just sat there in the truck till the next day, and we walked up there and bought some gas and brought it back and put it, and got home about 10 o'clock the next morning.
Lord.
Nobody they have cell phones, so nobody knew where we were.
Wow.
So you were a no-show for a gig?
No, we made the gig. It's on the way back.
Oh, okay.
See, it's the middle of the night when we run out of gas.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay, I was thinking you didn't.
on the way back.
Yeah, when he said turn left to Ambrose, I should have
got
picked
you.
up on that.
Yeah. On the way back, coming up that hill, you turn left, go to Ambrose.
Yeah.
And we were right down at the bottom of that hill all night long. But anyway, we've all got those kind of stories.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember.
I don't know if I've ever not made a gig, though. I don't believe it. I know the Bushmen had a wreck one time and scattered instruments all over the highway. They didn't make that gig. They had a trailer, turned the trailer over, and it came apart.
Oh Lord! Wow, no.
I don't know about. That's what they told me. I wasn't part of it then. I wasn't part of that.
The only time I didn't make a gig that I can recall, I had some stomach bug hit me.
Yeah.
And it was like the day of, and I still.
Oh, yeah. I've had those,
Yeah.
but as far as
Them waiting on you to get there, and you don't ever show
one
up.
of those where
On
all
the-
your intentions are right, but something happens wrong.
You don't get there.
Yeah, I can't recall ever having anything like that. I remember one band we were in. I can't even remember. It seemed like it was an 80s gig. We were headed down Albany Highway, US, 82? 82. Must have been going to Tifton or somewhere. And the trailer came off and passed us in the other lane. We're driving along, looks over there, and there's the trailer.
Wow.
Did it stop and you get hooked back up to it? Or
my
did it turn?
God.
Were you able to get it hooked back up and keep going?
Yeah. And one time we had a flat on the trailer. Remember that? On the way to a gig. But I reckon we always made our commitments.
When we were doing the Fred Hand thing, Fred was playing around with a computer. It was pretty antiquated, or a little drum machine at home. And we were doing Friday night, Saturday night at the VFW in Hazelhurst. So he got to where he could do enough songs to carry on the night. Mm-hmm. If he took, lengthy breaks. But so he started doing Friday night, which was great with me because Friday, Saturday, every weekend was just too much, So he started doing Friday night, then the whole band played Saturday night. We did that for a year or so, and he just told us that's the way he wanted to do it. And we were fine with that too. We're best of friends to this day, but I wanted to play a little different kind of music than he did, and so that's when me and Ben Lewis, Ricky Gerard, and Dwayne Johnson got together and put Mixed Emotion together.
Okay.
You remember that band?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
And so we started getting together on a Wednesday night for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, just learning songs, putting it together. And we just started playing gigs and did that for a good number of years. And I was teaching school. And
Yeah, John did his student teaching in my high school when I was in the 9th grade. I do not remember him.
Oh.
Didn't make an
You were a
didn't
school
make an
teacher?
impression at all.
I taught 16 years. Yeah.
Did you go to college?
You went to Georgia Southern, yeah.
And with a degree in?
In industrial education. I taught welding, machine shop.
Okay, so you were like shop.
Yeah, welding, machine shop, and math. I taught them one class of math. And
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
During that time, I went back and got a master's degree in
So your
industrial
9th grade year, He was teaching in Hazelhurst.
In Hazelhurst, did his student teacher there. Didn't impress me then.
Did you know of him? You knew of? No. Who's interested in? You're not interested in shop. You know. You got the annual though. You still do the annual. Oh well. Oh wait a minute. He's from Bacon County.
Yeah, close that off.
Slant.
But anyway, we had a good run playing, and those guys wanted to play like in South Carolina and spend the weekend doing it. And I had a family. I always drove home from gigs. I never spent the night. I always drove home, and I probably played too much during the days that Reed and them were growing up, and I sort of regret that. But at the same time, I was teaching school, so I carried them to school and brought them home. So I spent more time with them than a lot of parents would if they worked in a regular job. But that's can't do anything about the past. That's the past.
Oh yeah.
It worked out okay.
Well, you raised them boys good.
Yeah.
And they're both fine.
Yeah, and
that's the only two.
I got a daughter, Bree.
Younger than them.
I thought you had a daughter too.
She has her 6th year degree and is a home ec teacher. It's not called home ec now.
Culinary arts.
Culinary arts. She's a chef and teaches at the high school in Baxley. And
Does she work at a restaurant too, or should?
No, she's done some consulting and
Yeah.
a few things like that. But she's
what's her
Bree
last name?
Bennett.
Bennett.
She's divorced. She's not.
Okay.
She's got a little child, but
I'm wondering. Surely I've met her before.
probably have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
But I mean, Vance and Reed.
yeah. Reed
Know him
is-
well. Reed's a excellent
Heck of a
slide
guitar
guitar,
player.
excellent
And
guitar
singer.
and vocalist.
Yeah, he is.
And Vance dances his ass off.
He plays drums.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
he is
Yeah.
drummer. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I hope
where he
that
gets that
Reed.
rhythm.
I hope that Reed. They got he and Cam and some of them get together and play just for the fun of it. But at some point in his life, I feel like he'll go back to playing when his kids get older.
Mm-hmm.
But I admire him for staying home and raising his children. That's
We'd like to get him over here on this podcast
yeah,
too.
Yeah, he's a great singer and a great player.
Mm-hmm.
Quick story on that. He was 14 or something, and Dad showed me a few chords. I want to learn to play the guitar. So I did. I showed him 2 or 3 chords, and look, just I don't remember how long, but not long at all. Show me how you played that. He was showing me stuff. He's just
Took to it.
yeah. I'm not a flashy guitar player at all. I'm a pretty good bass player, but not a flashy guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm amazed at Josh and those guys that just
Yeah, I am too. Tony
really.
Case and Bill Smith. Yeah. Those guys, they just see that thing on a whole nother level.
yeah.
I can't see it.
I don't.
I mean,
I can't comprehend
you know?
it. I just can't.
I just can't
And
comprehend it.
and those
Like
and Josh and Tony, I've been around Bill a few times playing, but I heard him with the Rebel Airs.
okay.
Yeah, that's only. Well, I heard he played rhythm on some too, didn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when you play a song that they haven't heard in 10 years, much less played, when you look at them, they play exactly the parts that it was when it was recorded, don't they?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
With the right
Tony's
tone
good
and
about
everything.
Yeah, right
too.
tone and
Tony's
everything.
got that
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, he's got it. He's
That
and a heck of a nice
note
guy.
perfect, note pitch perfect.
And you
note
won't
perfect.
ever play or be around anybody
Tony's
any
amazing.
nicer.
His tone, his pitch, his ear.
Yeah.
We'd be going to a gig and we'd ride. A train would pass us as we were going down the highway, and the train is like, the sound bends when you go by it. Tony would say, G flat, and then it D minor, not D minor, but D natural.
Some people have that perfect pitch, and
I'm
it's amazing to
telling
me.
you, it's
I can tell if
something.
it ain't right, but that's about as far as.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear
when it's
something
out.
if it's out. And it hurts.
One of the things I've enjoyed in the last 15, 20 years is being around and getting to know Waycross players, because before that, I didn't play Waycross. it was just getting to know you guys and John Pope and all these other guys that play, Paul. I've really enjoyed that, and a lot of good music over here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's grown into quite a community.
Well, it's in all fairness, Dave. A lot of it is you're responsible for a lot of that. Wouldn't you say so, Sean?
Oh yeah,
I think Sean's more the leading the charge than I am.
No,
because you and Chris Ryder always gave them young ones a start. You put them to work.
But you give us young ones a start.
Well,
I saw that.
I pat you on the leg if you pat me on the leg.
Yeah, and
higher.
And the wood grains. I was a part of, going to the creek. That's about when I came along when they were in high school playing, and they'd come up and set in something. That was awesome.
What a band that was.
I taught. I didn't teach you very long. Beginning guitar to Dylan, and he took off in like 2 years. Way more stuff than I knew.
Oh yeah, he did. I heard him do it. They did a song one night when we heard him play. It was off of. Who sang?
Nick.
What is the song that?
Was Crosby, Stills, Nash.
Yeah, that was great too. Yeah,
they did.
What is it that Glendora always wants us to sing? Eric Burton and the Animals.
Oh,
They did. On one of their albums, they did C.C. Ryder.
Oh yeah, that's right. They covered that.
And they did. And I said, "Hey," where did you? He said, "I heard it, and I want to know." It's exactly the way Eric Burton and Animals did it. And, that was I was blown away by that with Dylan.
Well, yeah, and them boys, all three of them boys, were raised up with our music.
Yeah.
Their parents
and y'all
were
are
very much.
really, because everybody welcomed them in and just, just uplifted those guys the whole time that I was getting to know folks in Waycross.
They were very talented.
Yeah.
It was so easy to say, "Oh my God, they left me with my jaw." And shaking my head.
Dylan played drums with us one
in
night.
the neck.
And it was, he didn't know a lot of bunch of stuff that we knew, but he just fell right in there.
Feel.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep.
So what are y'all doing now, right now, as
Well,
far as music goes?
Tomorrow night, we're going to play with Russ Story's band, a band named Rampage.
Whose band?
Russ Story.
Russ Story.
He's actually from
Cordele,
but he
lived for
lives
20-something years in Douglas.
in Douglas.
Okay.
He has a wealth management group over there, and he's a great singer. He's a good frontman, rock and roll singer.
Rampage.
Rampage, yeah.
Rampage.
And
What stuff
rock
do
and
they
roll,
do?
rock and
Just
rock and roll
old
music. Yeah. Well,
music.
they do a Blackberry Smoke tune.
Really? Okay.
Too, and then but it's mostly, it's Proud Mary and Eagles tunes and stuff that we all love, and we
and the two of y'all are sitting in with them.
I don't know what happened. They just asked me, could we come play bass? I said, well, it's one or two. They said, well, Rhonda, come sing. I said, because I ain't going if you can't go. And they said, well, we want both of you. So,
Okay.
So because that's the way we do it.
Right.
If I had offered, we're singing at a wedding next weekend, and I got a call. Our drummer's playing with a band. I'm playing a wedding over in Dublin. It's good money, but they wanted me to play. And the first thing I thought about it, well, I don't know if I want to do that or not, because we sing together, But anyway, I couldn't do it anyway because
We have another wedding.
we got a wedding we got to be in.
Okay.
And we got to learn those songs.
Yeah, we do. It would be nice if we learned it before we sang it.
What do
Wait
y'all
till the week
have to
of the
learn?
wedding to
What
learn a
are
song
they?
you ain't never played before,
What are they?
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, It's Your Love. So
Okay.
we've at least heard it.
Yeah.
And another one that I had not heard, Feels Like Home. I've listened to Bonnie Raitt's version of it twice.
okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
We got some work to do this coming
It's
week.
challenging, I tell you. I hate it when I have to do that. I really do.
You kind of delight in it if they want something you already know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that when somebody comes up and makes a request right in the middle of your set, you know, and it's in my book.
Or if
this one is fearless. He'll try stuff we don't know. You know, I think we can do that, can't we?
Yeah. I look at Charles. Me and Charles have played so much together, kind of like you and your guys. We just know if we can or if we can't. And, we can do that. And they'll come up with something that we've always played with the band, but never played with the trio. Right. Can we do this? Maybe.
Hang on.
Most times it turns out okay.
One night the trio was playing and somebody came up and asked him to sing Conway Twitty. And I thought, surely this is the one he's going to back out of.
Nope.
But I'd sang that. I had played that a lot when I played with Fred because that's the kind of music he played.
Exactly.
They got the words up on the thing and we struggled through it. We pulled it off too.
Hello, darling.
I'll do that. I will do that. I'll have something that ain't in the book, and of course, usually a tip goes along with the request. And I'll call it up there, and it's bad. My eyes are bad, but on a little old cell phone. But that's doable. Yeah, definitely.
We want to talk about tips. One of the first things that happened when I started playing with Fred, we played. I don't know if it's twice a month. I can't remember. Might have been every weekend at the VFW in Alma, and they'd had VFW folks are fun folks. They have a good time. You get rowdy once in a while, but for the most part, there's working people just come out on the weekends.
Yeah.
And this friend of mine's uncle was bad to get drunk, and he came out there and he had 2 or 3 women with him, and he came out there and stuffed a bill in my pocket and said, "Play Tennessee Waltz." This was in 70 or 71, something like that. And I looked down, it was a 50. And I said, "What key you want it in and how many times you want me to play it?" And we played it. And I went to my friend and told him what happened. I said, "If you'll get this back to him, I'll give it back to you." He said, "Keep it." Those women would have got it. Just keep it. I said, "Okay." Of course, I had to share it with the rest of the band, That's one thing I've never have done and never have been a part of is I've always been in a pretty much totally Democratic band. Mm-hmm. You split the money evenly. It don't matter who owns the equipment. It don't matter. All of that don't matter. If you got gas money to come out, that's one thing. But you treat everybody the same, and it'll last if you do that.
Yeah,
if you do that, when you got one guy hiring guys and paying them less than he's making, it doesn't work. Very well.
I've seen that fall apart.
Yeah.
Well, especially if when they don't know and they find out.
And they find out. That's right.
What do you mean?
That happened to a good friend of mine, and of course he had lots of problems and naturally had to go to treatment and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But he was, but anyway, whatever. We've all seen that.
Yeah. My VFW experience is a little different from yours. Not as happy.
Yeah.
But this was fairly recent. This was probably in the last 5 years. I played at the VFW here in Waycross, and the bar is in the front, and then you go through this door and pay a cover charge to go to the band room, the dance floor, and all that. And there weren't many people back there. The few that were there, there was one woman that kept requesting George Jones' song. Just because I asked a friend about her. She again, and it's like, okay.
You mean you'd already played it? She wanted it again.
Yeah. Okay. So I coddled her for a minute or two there, and then I got off and I started playing. Well, I got to move on, okay, and started playing Down in the Boondocks, a little up tempo compared. She liked slow dance, evidently, and she came up there right in the middle of down in the boondocks, and I saw her. She was just standing right there in front of me, and so I just closed my eyes and started singing, you know, so maybe she'll be gone when I open them again. And finally I just stopped. I said, "Can I help you?" She said, "I don't like that. Why don't you play George Jones?" I said, "I done played it 2 or 3 times now," you know. And Lynn was sitting over there at a table, and she said the guy at that table she was sitting at was said, "You want me to handle this?" She said, No. Finally, she just got so pissed off that I wouldn't keep playing the song that she left. And that was... But they are, for the most part, they are fun-loving, good time people.
Yeah. I had lots of friends at the places that we played regularly. Lots of friends. A lot of them have since died, because that was a long time ago. But they just, you get to know them, you get to know what they do and everything, and they just normal folks, you know, normal folks.
Fred Hand memory. He came into the music store when I was working across town. And this was one of his sayings. You probably heard it before. Ever since Moby Dick was a minner. Ever since Moby Dick was a minner. I've known him for a long time, ever since Moby Dick was a minner.
Yeah.
And he had a son. Was it Steve?
No, Greg and Tony. 2 sons, Greg and Tony.
Who was that guy?
And a daughter named
Fred.
Tina.
Yeah.
Fred Hand Band. Okay. Greg and Tony.
Yeah.
I thought I met, who was the guy from Alma? No, this guy was in another band called, what was it? They played Little Nights. He's tall, long black hair, keyboard. What was that guy's name? I thought.
Mark.
Who? Mark.
That's his nephew.
Okay, I thought he was a hand.
Yeah, Mark plays with us.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mark Hand. There you go. That
He's a good talent.
confusing me.
He's a good talent. Big
Yeah.
His hair's gray now. But
Like most of us. Yes.
over one summer, it just turned gray.
It's probably during COVID.
Yeah. He's a good keyboard man. Good singer. Very good singer.
Talking about the old days, when we put together, me and Billy Ray put together our first band, my first band that I was ever in, official band that played for money, was Sweetbriar.
Yeah, I've heard that name, yeah.
We played a lot in Alma. Mm-hmm. We played the Bacon County High School homecoming.
Played the rec center, I'm sure.
The rec center and the Exchange Club, that old metal building out, I guess, at the fairgrounds.
If they would have just dances out there, and the Exchange Club would put it on, and they would get people to play. We played that several
I
times.
remember we played, as a matter of fact, this was on the tail of the week, that we recorded last night. We were playing there New Year's Eve, I believe it was, and they still had the Christmas decorations up. There were lights strung all the way around the inside of the building.
They pretty much stayed up year round.
Well, we were up there. We were tucked into this corner, and we had our stage lights, and the rest of the room was black, pretty much black, except for the Christmas lights in the far region. We were up there, peaceful, easy feeling, and we noticed the Christmas lights way back in the corner started shaking like that, and then out of the darkness twirled this tornado of fists and boots and and a crowd just swirling. There was two guys fighting, but there was a crowd just swirled like a tornado in front of the band, kept going, and we kept playing Peaceful, Easy Feeling. And then guys knocked each other right into 1975. That was funny.
A bunch of stories along that line. One of the things that we did when we first got together with the Change of Minds is the Western Auto Store was downtown, right next to Cohen's and Alma. Well, it closed down, And so the Cohen family owned that building, and we talked to them and letting us have that for like a little teen club or whatever. We called it the Hangar, and we got incandescent lights, and we put coat hangers all over the wall. We had us a stage and everything. We played there, every couple of weeks, and it actually got so popular and so good that when we booked the gig, we actually had a couple of times when we booked the gig somewhere else and had somebody else coming in playing in our place.
Oh, okay.
And it was a good friend of mine. His name is Philip Alamo. His Judge Alamo's son. His son.
Judge
Philip,
Alamo's son.
and he was playing at the time in a band, Savannah, Statesboro, somewhere, called the Sons of Bach. And they're a pretty good band. They played there when we were playing somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we had problems with that old rock and roll music, Ministerial Alliance, and this, that, and the other. And they put pressure on the guy that owned the building for us to stop. And it was probably a good thing because nothing bad ever happened, but it could have. So, but we did that 6 or 8 months and made a little money and had a big time.
That's awesome.
We put parachutes up in the top. Got a bunch of parachutes. Well, the fire marshal, they were determined that we weren't going to be successful. Fire marshal came in and said, can't do that. Well, what have we got to do it? You got to treat them with flame retardants. Took them all down and soaked them in all this stuff. I don't know if it's any good or not. Put them back up. we were young and had plenty of energy, and we were determined this was going to work, and it did for a long period of time. And folks my age and all, we talked to them. Yeah, I remember the Hangar. I remember the Hangar.
I'm certain that you were probably a beauty queen. No cheerleader, nothing like that.
No cheerleader. No, I was not into the beauty queen thing.
Yeah,
someone else
a little bit
put
plastic.
me into one.
Yeah.
I was the tobacco princess, which
I knew it. It had to be.
It was but I did grow up on a farm doing tobacco, so I guess that was apropos.
My granddaddy grew tobacco, and that was the very first job that I ever had, about 8 years old, handing, my aunts, mama and all my aunts strung.
You got fond memories of that, don't you?
Oh, God, no.
I mean, kids today, they need a tobacco patch in their background.
$5 a week.
Yeah.
Boy, I can remember that Abe Lincoln, and I'm thinking, I'm rich.
Yeah.
I worked for my dad. I didn't get paid.
You didn't get paid, did you?
No.
That's a lot of squirrel nut zippers.
I never liked them. Oh, God. Yeah, that was wonderful, wonderful memories.
It really is something that the folks growing up today really, really should have
Miss
a
out
place
on,
to work when they're growing up and learn how to work. But kids, they just don't get that. And it's
Well, we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to hire anybody at the Blueberry Packing Shed that's under 18.
Yeah.
Because we might be a hazardous workplace because we have forklift.
Yeah.
But we'll buy a 16-year-old vehicle and put them out on the highway.
Yeah,
but they can't get out of the way of a forklift.
Well, that was our rite of passage, growing up. 14, 15 years old, a summer job.
Yeah.
Buddy, that pickup truck would come by, beep, beep, and his son would still be coming up.
Yeah.
In the morning, and I'd be sitting there, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah. And
Climb in the back of that pickup truck, they'd drop us off out there, and we would sucker
the
fields.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hot. Woo. But
we made a lot of friends and had a lot of fun.
Oh, it was
made some money.
Yes.
And, it evolved away from that when the tobacco went away, kind of, except for the big farmers. And then the blueberry business came along. And then the kids started working in blueberry. And it just, I bought a blueberry harvester when I was teaching school just so I could give Vance Reed a job. And Harry Keith and my nephew. And we worked them boys hard. And they'll tell you today that they just have good memories.
So you started dealing in the blueberry farming while you were teaching?
Yeah, my brother and I had a tract of land and planted some blueberries. Well, actually, it's my dad's land, but we planted a field. And then the man that built the packing shed that I own today was a retired lawyer, and his wife died, and he talked before that, he talked me into buying a blueberry combine because they used to haul one from Michigan down here and pick people's blueberries, and so he he had it all laid out. He taught me into doing that, and the only reason I wanted to do it was so I could give Vance Reed and Harry Keith. Harry Keith was little, but I could give them a job, and we had some high school boys to help us start with because they were too young. But then the next year, my oldest son Vance, he was one of the main guys, and Reed was a helper. And the next year or so, both of them were working the back of the harvester, and my nephew, Keith, brought him over. My brother brought him to me every morning, and a lot of times he spent the night. And we'd work him till he just couldn't pick a lug of blueberries up and put it on the trailer. And I'd say, go lay down for a while. He'd go sleep in the truck. He stayed with us all day long. And you ask him now, and he loves that, having that in his memory. Yeah. And, we worked this boy hard, and it was good for them. They made money, and and people, they don't have that opportunity for their children now, and that's really sad. It really is. But anyway,
Rhonda, you were talking about your daddy.
Tell him about
that. He's been a musical influence all your life, and he's still into music, and he's about to be 96.
He is 96.
He is 90. My 96. Daddy's turning 95 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's treasure. But so tell us, he's still active?
Very active. Yeah, lives alone.
Yeah, same with him.
Yes, and still sings every chance he gets with this Serp House that John talked about. That's the biggest outlet. But November of last year in Jeff Davis County, they had a Harmon Dawson Tribute Day, and a lot of folks that had sang gospel music from all around came over.
His name?
Harmon Dawson. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and had an event for him, and folks sang, and our quartet sang and things. And
what's the name of the quartet?
The Good News Quartet.
Good News Quartet. Okay.
Yeah.
And John has done a recording in our living room of
that's
them.
on the YouTube too. I don't know. Good News Quartet.
You have the video done, but we have a CD of them.
CD.
Cool.
Sam Johnson's got a home recording, not much like this probably, but
Sam Johnson, the bass player for Josh.
He came out to the house and set up, and they all dressed up. And most of it's one take, and it's good. It's Southern gospel. It's a little bit rough, but it's good. You know? And
it's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
And you can just tell, they had a ball doing it. Just had a ball.
And y'all actually sit in with them too.
Yeah.
We do now. We didn't then.
Yeah,
I just kind of helped them then. But
it's a 5-piece quartet.
Yes, that's it.
It's a 5-man quartet.
Got a
little math challenge here.
We're not changing the names. We'll have to change the business cards, the shirts.
The band we play at Bernie's up there is called the Lige Moore 4.
Lige from Bernie's.
Yeah.
I know. I met Lige when I was playing there.
Yeah.
And that's Joanne's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Joanne in Brunswick.
Yeah,
comes
that's-
from the
I
area.
forgot about that
Same
connection.
time.
Yeah. I met
he's-
him one
he's
time, maybe
a
twice.
Cool guy.
Bernie.
I liked him.
Anyway, so
he
we
had
started-
some history.
Yeah, that's right. And we've known him like 30 years or 40.
Wow.
30. He used to come here to Bushman. We used to play Swainsboro a lot. That area. Every time we did, he'd always come and have some moonshine. He's still like moonshine. But anyway, so I just let it be the Lige Moore 4. You know, now it's 5 with her. And Bernie's is such a. I wish they would take those 2 big old posts out.
Post right out.
If you look at how that thing's made, you couldn't.
And if you
knock
got
it
2
down
singers, then you're going to be right behind them.
post, and you couldn't tear that place down with a tank. It's so well built.
Yeah.
You could take those posts out, and it wouldn't.
They threatened to sneak up in the night with a chainsaw.
Boy, it gets,
out.
in the summer it gets hot, in the winter
Ooh,
it gets cold.
It does.
It's cold.
It does.
Yep.
But you always end up with some spring and fall gigs. That's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
But people turn out. You know, they come out. We have good crowds when we play with Lige.
I enjoyed playing there. I got cut out when I can't remember what happened. He said that they were going to condense their booking to one night or something like that. He's probably lied to me. He probably just didn't like me.
The last time that the trio played, we got there and it was so cold, and we set up and we played 35, 40 minutes. Everybody was inside, and we finally went to the lady at the bar, said, "Y'all don't have to pay us. We understand everything."
I want to pack up and
we
go home.
go
go
home. This is too rough. She said, just go
Bernie's
home.
sister at the bar.
And paid us anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paid us anyway.
She was hot rod.
But anyway, we one of the things that I truly enjoy now is helping with Rhonda Status Quartet. I really enjoy that because you get to give back. They couldn't do it without us.
Yeah.
Now, physically they couldn't do it. They don't know anything about the sound systems, and they just couldn't do it. And for me, I try to make it as good for them as I possibly can. And it's just a blessing to us to do that. It really is. And then they want us to sing.
Yeah.
And then if we could keep it, well, I can say that. If we try to sing songs that the other musicians can play along with us, but then they don't get tired of singing the same songs twice or 20 times.
Or 20, that's right.
No,
I like to, when I go somewhere, I like to, if I sing this time, I want to at least do some other stuff that they didn't hear me do the last time, and I'll try to bring out a new one, and sometimes it works.
And sometimes he brings out some Vic Waters stuff that they've never heard before,
Yeah.
And then the pianist now keeps requesting a bunch of Vic Waters stuff.
Cooter Brown.
Yeah, always.
Let's go fishing naked.
We did one, and I hadn't done in 20 years, I don't think, 15 anyway. It just came to me. We did it. Jocelyn never played it.
No.
It was a song for Johnny. You familiar with that one? Mm-mm. He pulled crab traps all of his life. That's a great song.
That's a Vic song.
Wasn't that about? Was that the one that was about somebody kin to Will Gore, like his uncle or something?
He knew.
Well, Will and Vic are big buddies.
Big buddies.
Yeah.
Vic grew up knowing Will's kinfolk.
Yeah. He, I think he kind of mentored Will along. Will's an awesome player now.
Oh yeah.
He gave him a really nice guitar at the Blessing of the Fleet. We were there that night. I had just made him a new guitar strap, and I put
Lord
Victor. He refers to himself in Louisiana piano man. Lord Victor, show him where it's at. So anyway, I took a chance that he would like that, and he really did. He John Bennett made this. And he didn't know I was in the audience. And I said, hey, there he is right there. He's quite a guy. I've known him 50 years.
Else. I've just got to know him in the last probably 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. He doesn't play much anymore.
No, he doesn't. But
have you ever heard
I play the fish dock, and he lives right there,
That's right.
down from the fish dock. So he
that
comes out occasionally.
Used to be called
Pelican Point.
Pelican Point. We played there a lot, upstairs. That was bad.
Yes. Yeah, I'd prefer the downstairs. They do a lot of solo and duos.
Vic is quite a character, and we were going somewhere, flying into Savannah and coming back, and I accidentally called him to talk to him, and he said, "We're going down to Shelman's Bluff to hear Ronnie Riley's band," and I told him, "Well, we're flying into Savannah. We'll come by." So we'd be there about 10 o'clock. And so when I got there, hey, Bubba, how you doing? That sounds just like him. Though. Hey, Bubba, how you doing? Come go with me. So me and Ronnie goes out. He's got an old Cadillac. And get in. And he pulls a little CD. I don't know, I guess it was a CD. Stuck it in there. He said, listen to this. And it was Ray Stevens doing Cooter Brown.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He said, I got one royalty check for $185 and another one for $165. What do you think about that? I thought it was great. I mean, Ray Stevens did it exactly the way Vic did it.
Yeah.
Just exactly like Vic did it.
What year was that?
Cooter Brown was probably 25. Rick told me.
This was 12 years ago or more.
Oh, my goodness.
Vic said the problem with music business is you grow up, if you're a songwriter, you write songs, you take your whole life to create enough songs to be on one album, and they're all good, and then a year later they want you to have another album to release, and you got to come up with, and it's hard to come up with good songs in that length of time,
Did y'all ever write songs?
Nah.
Never did. Okay.
I tried it a little while, and I don't even remember the songs I tried to write. I just realized that, and no, can't do that.
Well,
I'm in awe of it. You guys that do it, I really am. But,
well, we know that you sing them, so we're going to take a little short break right now and get set up for some music in here, and we'll be right back.
Something in my brain won't let me stray. Something in my veins gonna find its way. Something in the water taught me how to pray. When that cold black water finds its way into your veins, you'll never be the same.
All right, we're back, and we're going to hear a little music. John and Rhonda.
Yeah.
Y'all just
What y'all got?
take off. Do what you...
I want to tell you about my first guitar. You were going to ask me about my first guitar.
Okay.
My daddy had a construction company. You remember, he doesn't remember, but you remember the telephone system was a pole with 5 or 6 cross arms and about 50 wires.
Right.
All up and down the highway. Well, my daddy did, when they went to the other stuff, whatever it was, he dismantled all that and rolled up the copper wire. And I did some summer jobs with all that stuff. Well, had a job in Wisconsin. And I was in the 8th grade, and I ordered my first silver tone guitar and amplifier. They're like, I don't know, $49 or something. And believe it or not, I remember this being a pretty good old guitar. We were living in a 10-foot wide, 5 children and mom and dad in a 10-foot wide mobile home. I mean, almost like a camper trailer. And that thing was delivered there, and I was out there trying to learn how to play it. They finally made me just pack it up till we got back home. And I think I tried to make. I thought I could make or build anything back in those days. I think I tried to convert it to a 12-string and just ruined it.
Oh, God.
That thing. I don't remember. I can't remember much about it.
Did you do that because of the birds?
Yeah, that probably.
Yes.
That song right there, you know. That was Tambourine Man. But anyway.
We had it good with our music. We sure did. That was your first guitar, Silvertone.
Silvertone.
Like many
It
youngsters.
probably worth a lot of money now if I'd have kept it.
What year was that?
It had to be 63 or something like that, 64.
See, you got into the guitar before the Beatles?
Yeah.
How about well, 63 would have been 1 year before.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I was.
Well, Fred Hand's mother.
Fred's mama, Miss Carrie Hand, actually taught me how to play a few chords.
Yeah.
And she could sing, he could play hymns and stuff. And she taught me a few chords, and then I went from there. But anyway.
Oh, now, tell us about this guitar. What is that?
This is a Zager guitar. And when you get old and you got these big meat paws for hands, and you've always struggled with making clean chords, he advertises on Facebook, and I saw it. It's
Made for old arthritic people.
Old arthritic.
Wider neck.
A little bit wider neck. And so I called him up and talked to him about it. And he said, yeah, but I'm way behind. It'll be a while. I said, well, I want one. And he said, okay. So he sent me called me back up something, said, I got one. I'm going to make one. If you'll give me a deposit right now for $300, I'll make you one. And it's like a $2,000 guitar. And so I did. And I kept calling him. It was nearly a year before he got it made because he had such a back order. But, I mean, he's well, you played it. It's great.
It's nice.
It's a great guitar.
Good feel.
Yeah. Anyway, do a little tune by the Eagles off of their Desperado album. Yeah, to me, that was the best one.
That was a fine one.
They were dueling Daltons, high or low. It was the as women, red-eye whiskey for the pain. Go down, Bill Dalton, it must be God's will. Two brothers lying dead in Coffeeville. Two voices call to you from where they stood. Lay down your law books now, they're no damn good. You better keep on moving, Doolin Daltons, till your shadow, it sets you free. If you're fast, and if you're lucky, you will never see that hanging tree. The towns lay out across the dusty plains, like graveyards filled with tombstones. But a man could use his back or use his brain. Some just went stir crazy, Lord. Nothing ever changed till Bill Doolin, he met Bill Dalton. He was working cheap, just biding time. Then he laughed, he said, I'm going. And he left that peaceful life behind.
Yeah.
That's
You ever heard that song?
I have heard that.
Yeah. I think it was you that told me one night y'all played the creek, and you came to me and said, they played an Eagles song that I ain't never heard before, and I really liked it. And I said, well, see, you coming round. That might have been the one.
It's a good song.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
I love that album, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, dear, you sing something.
Whatever you play.
We talked about two songs. One of them we just did in practice. What was the other one?
Put your records on.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Who's this by?
Corinne Bailey Ray.
Corinne Bailey. It's kind of
Who?
Corinne Bailey Ray.
For the camera, when you get that guitar up, it's kind of blocking her face.
how are we going to do that?
No, that's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing.
Everybody puts baby in the corner.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
We used to go to the Keys with Jimmy Jones and their pilots. We'd go down there, and I took my guitar, and we'd been talking about this song, and so I'd get it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I finally figured out how to play it.
Okay.
And
They were so glad.
they were so glad.
3 little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the concrete. Maybe sometimes we got it wrong, but it's alright. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Now don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Now sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Blue as the sky, sunburned and lonely, sipping tea in a bar by the roadside. Now don't you let those other boys fool you. Gotta love that afro hairdo. Baby, sometimes we feel a it's alright. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Now don't you hesitate, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Now sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Was more than I could take, pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. When you gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer? Do what you want to, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Now sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down.
I said, girl, put your records on. Play me your favorite song. Go ahead, let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Go ahead, let your head down.
You gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
That's awesome. There you go, folks. That's a little bit of Rhonda and the Relics. That's what you're going. Of course, that's a full band, right? Full band.
That's a full band song. Yeah, what we do it with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do it in a trio too. We call it the Relics Trio.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, y'all probably heard this one. This one caught my eye a few months ago, and we learned it. And to me, it's a cool song. "30 miles from the Gulf Stream, I can hear the south wind moan. Bridges getting lower, all the shrimp boats coming home. The old man down in the quarter slowly turned his head, takes a sip from his whiskey bottle, and this is what he said. I was born in the rain on the punctured train underneath the Louisiana moon. I don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, the devil's daughter, she's hard, cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. The man came down from Chicago, he's gonna fix that levee right. Said it needs to be at least 3 feet higher to make it through the night. But the old man down in the quarter said, don't you listen to that boy. The water'll be down by morning, and he'll be back to Illinois. I was born in the rain on a punctured train underneath the Louisiana moon. I don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, the devil's daughter, she's hard, she's cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. Nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Band of Heathens.
Band of Heathens. Yeah. I couldn't remember who it was by. I've heard the song.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That sounds like a legitimate son of Tony Joe
Tony Joe White.
White.
And he was always one of my favorites.
and John Fogerty. It's funny that John Fogerty was from California. He's a California boy, just as pure as California. But he wrote all them songs about Louisiana and the swamp.
I always wanted to go see Tony Joe White.
We saw him.
I was so disappointed when he
Reed
died.
was with us.
Yeah.
Up in Nashville.
Yeah.
When we went up to
Record
Don Helms on Newfanglers album.
Yeah.
We was looking for something to do that Sunday night, and here was the newspaper. It says 3rd and Lindley was the club name.
I don't think it's there anymore.
Well, a club. It was a venue. 3rd and Lindley. It was a concert venue. Small room, but it was the...
it was either a tornado or a fire got it.
Probably that flood.
Yeah.
It was a bad flood or storm. But it's the Hackensaw Boys and Tony Joe White.
And he killed it, didn't he?
Oh,
He
yeah.
was so good. Just him.
Just natural.
Just
him
an
and guitar.
electric guitar and one of them blonde tweed amplifiers.
Yeah.
And just growling like he growled.
One I like he does the best is Roosevelt and Ira Lee sit down on a log. Roosevelt said to Ira Lee, sure like to have a mess of bullfrog. Roosevelt and Ira Lee, look that one up. That's a cool
So
song.
natural, boy. It was like, and Folks Alabama was his first hit.
Oh yeah.
And
Raining Out in Georgia.
for a kid in the Okefenokee Swamp, we immediately connected. You know?
Yeah.
But that song, Brooke Benton, Raining Out in Georgia, he was working in Marietta at the time.
He wrote a song, didn't he?
He did. Tony Joe White did. He was working in Marietta, and he recalled that memory of he was driving dump trucks or working on the road or something. There's my wife. Somebody, don't let her in. No, I'm just kidding. Somebody let her in.
Yeah.
All right, do I need to go? Oh, okay.
What else y'all want
But
to hear?
the memory of that experience when he was working on dump trucks, road department, and everything, when it would rain, they'd get the day off.
Yeah.
And he said that was a lonely damn day.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting stranded in the motel room in Marietta with the rain coming down. He recalled that.
Yeah.
And he wrote Rainy Night in Georgia years later after that, just pulling that memory back.
Awesome song.
What a song.
Yeah, what a song. Yeah.
Powerful, powerful song.
I don't know how long you want to carry this on, but
Well, let's have another song then. And just
do something.
pick and sing.
Yeah. This is the Colin Ray tune, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. We got another Colin Ray that's real good too. We do. You want to hear it, but you know how musicians are. You get them started.
Get them started.
That's all
Get them
right.
strung up.
That's all right.
You know, you got
We can we might can
Edit
cut
some of it out.
edit some of these down for the deep end.
Yeah.
You know, let's go.
Mama's tears fell so easy. Daddy's handshake was strong. And then I climbed aboard that Greyhound, 18 and glad to be gone. Took a rented room on Broadway. As I unpacked everything I owned, I found a note my mama left me with a Bible and a bus ticket home. Said one will get you where you're going when you haven't got a prayer, and one will bring you back, girl, if your dreams ain't waiting there. You're out on your own now. We won't be there to fall back on, but you know we're never farther than a Bible and a bus ticket home. The years have come and gone and taken the only things in life I've ever counted on. But I'm going back tomorrow to lay flowers on their stone. I can almost hear my mama calling, saying, girl, come back where you belong. Now you've got all you need to get here, with your Bible and your bus ticket home. She said one will get you where you're going when you haven't got a prayer, and one will bring you back, girl, if your dreams ain't waiting there. You're out on your own now. We won't be there to fall back home, but you know we're never farther than a Bible and a bus ticket home. But you know we're never farther than a Bible and a bus ticket home.
All right.
Good, pretty.
Yeah.
So, I don't guess you can do a Broadway tune.
I don't think probably can't pull one of those off.
That
No.
was one thing that I learned some gospel tunes,
But he said now his brother Dane, that I never met, died before I met him, that we'd have gotten along really well because he could play those very good.
and, you know,
Piano?
yeah, he
What was his name?
Dane. He was an organist at the big church in Savannah.
Really?
He lived in Statesboro, but he could play a song, and it wasn't fancy. It just made it sound good.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like Michelle.
The older or
something like that.
younger? Younger?
He got lymphoma and died.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
The kind of stuff now they can probably treat, but that was 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But he was great musical talent.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Well, we appreciate that showcase of talent. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's time for the tale of the week, folks. And this one is short but powerful.
This is what Dave reads out of his book.
Yes,
if they don't
this
know.
is my book. It came out about 2018, I think. I blogged for a week, every week for about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad somebody can do that, can't you?
got a publisher, a friend of mine knew over in Valdosta, that extended me the contract for this little book. And it's got 25 stories in it. And if you want one, just message us, email us at somethinginthewaterpodcast@gmail.com, and I'll get you an autographed copy. Okay. You know, I've lived a lot and seen much, and I thank God every day that I wake up, because something may happen that I ain't ever seen before. There ain't no guarantees in life. That's part of the reason why I retired from a long line of occupations when I turned 62 back in 2015. For over 50 years, I've cropped tobacco, bagged groceries, moved furniture, hauled sheetrock, laid carpet, and sold guitars. I was a health department official, construction worker, warehouse manager, office manager, postal worker, and janitor. I played music with good friends my entire adult life, and I'm privileged to have shared the stage with Percy Sledge, Sonny Turner, Dickie Betts, Jim Lauderdale, and Leon Russell. My wife Lynn and I are comfortable enough. Our home and cars paid off. Our children are grown and successful in our eyes. Life is good. Looking back, I see a slew of ups and downs, wins and losses, love and heartbreak. But that's just life. I love what Joe Walsh said in the History of the Eagles documentary. Joe said this.
Philosopher who says, as you live your life, it appears to be anarchy and chaos and random events, non-related events smashing into each other and causing this situation, and then this happens, and it's overwhelming, and it just looks like, what in the world is going on? And later, when you look back at it, it looks like a finely crafted novel. But at the time, it don't.
I love that, man. Oh, my gosh. I'm not a religious or a political fanatic. I believe in the teachings of Jesus.
What's the best song you ever wrote?
Howard. Excuse me, Howard. Look, I'm here. Okay. I'm not a religious or political fanatic. I believe in the teachings of Jesus and the Beatles. Love one another and be as good of a person as you can. I despise greed at every level of society. I love art and the power that it has to compel people to think, to react, and to change. I'm so fortunate to have grown up in the 60s, a decade of cultural inspiration that still echoes through the millennial overload. I still love discovering new musical idols. I love it when a kid walks up and plays me a song they've written. I love seeing a young girl with an imagined tattoo and a hula hoop. One of my dearest friends, Lana Loback, exemplified the effortlessness of goodness and decency in everyone she met. At 55, she suffered a major stroke on her way to a Death Cab for Cutie concert with her lovely daughters and passed away. In 2015, I was honored to sing at my friend's funeral. Left to carry on in this world, her sweet husband, Jack, told me, I want to be more like Lana. Mm-hmm. I agree. The world we live in today is full of a lot of greed, intolerance, and hatred. But you know what? So was the 60s. So was any other generation. I don't have the answer, but I'm sure that Jesus, the Beatles, and Lana were on the right track. All you need is love.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
What's tearjerker?
Sweetheart.
Do you ever know what he's going to do before he does it?
I never know.
You've gone away sometimes too.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. All right.
Oh, boy. She was a sweetheart. She's from Blackshear, Georgia. She was a Cochran. Her maiden name was Cochran. And she never knew a stranger. She entered a room full of strangers and with, hey, y'all. You know, that was her personality. And it was.
She helped me
so
get on the Dale Hollow Music Festival, and she didn't even know me.
Yeah.
And she figured out how, because they wanted me to come, but they couldn't figure out the money, and I couldn't go for nothing for a week. And
she sponsored you a boat.
She figured out all this way of doing it, and
that was a concert on houseboat.
I remember reading
on a lake in Kentucky.
Yeah.
It was great.
And then all that happened before we got there. So she had done all this. Then I went, and then she had passed away, and I was like, "Oh man, this is heavy."
You know, I've always said this, and as you get older, you realize how it's true. That you're blessed if you got good parents. Number one,
Absolutely.
and if you grow up in my word is if you grow up on a farm. Also, I've added to that, or a small town.
Yeah.
Because you just get things that other people don't get.
Yes.
And they're with you for your whole life.
And we all had that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. She grew up on a hog farm. Tell them what one of your jobs was.
No, the thing's still running.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
This could be a T-pin blurb.
Okay, so my dad.
How old were you at this time?
We moved there when I was in the 3rd grade, so 8. And
now he was an old time. Didn't have a fancy hog farmer out on the little pens all over the farm. He was an old time hog farmer.
But in his office there were clipboards, and it had the breeding sows' names on them, and he kept up with how many they birthed, how many they raised, and what those grew up to be. And he watched his bloodlines.
Oh.
And so he would have a group of hogs come in to heat at the same time. So we'd have a whole bunch of pigs to raise off at the same time. Mm-hmm. And we had about 1,000 head a lot of the times, okay? So he wanted to keep up with which sows bred with what males. And my job was to sit in the back of the pickup truck and watch and write it down. Now, I didn't go to town and tell my friends in town that that's what I did after school.
But that's priceless. I mean,
it is.
This little pig went to market.
And you talk to him about her dad, and he'll just kind of laugh. Well, that's what we had to do.
That's Harmon. That's Harmon for you.
Yeah. I tell y'all, one of the delights for me of my musical career has been to work with those guys in a good musical.
I want to ask you this now: do they have just like a jam session, or not so much a practice, but can people come? Is that the syrup house?
Yeah,
or that's where everything goes?
I'll let you know if you want to come.
Let me know. I want to bring my daddy.
Okay.
Because he loves to sing.
Yeah.
He sings with tapes, and he sings in church occasionally.
Yeah.
And I
that's
went
exactly what it's for.
I went down to Jacksonville to Guitar Center and bought him. All the kids went in and bought him a Christmas present. He used to have a big old PV, system from Hugh out there at Wiltronics. Big old thing. It's too much. And I said, Daddy, they got these sticks now, and I wanted to get him a stick, and I did buy him a stick to begin with, but something went wrong with it. It wasn't all that good. So we carried it back to Guitar Center, and they had this other little small head and two little very portable speakers, And we got that instead and hooked it up. And we got everything. We got the tape deck. He's got his pitch changer. It runs through the pitch changer. Then it goes into the head. And now we got to get the CD player.
Yeah.
And we're going to get that for his birthday. But I'd love to bring him.
Probably next Thursday night.
Would he be able to sit in?
Sure.
Yeah.
Give him a microphone.
Now, there's a young man, Jimmy, that owns the place where it's at. It's his nephew, and he wants to sing so badly, and he has no ear whatsoever.
But it's
he
good.
has no idea that he is not on pitch.
Tell him not to watch this podcast.
No, he won't.
And I feel so sorry for, and I'll get so excited because he'll go about 3 phrases right.
Yeah. But I mean, but still, it's all good because he's having fun.
Yeah,
and nobody really cares.
No,
he loves it, and you can tell he's worked at it, and he knows the words. He got it on his phone. He'll plug his phone in, and he'll go singing. And I wouldn't dare tell him not to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Daddy can carry a tune now.
Well, he'll fit right in. I promise you, he will fit
he's
right.
So we
always-
start about 5.
Yeah.
And about 7:15 or 7:30, they get the food ready, and we all sit around
Is
and
this
eat.
a certain day?
We try on Thursdays because there's just a few of us still
Do
working.
you do it
Everybody else-
weekly?
Well,
No,
2 to 3 times a
monthly.
month. We did it.
okay.
We did it weekly before COVID.
COVID, yeah.
But then
Yeah, shoot me a date and
the address. It's in Hazelhurst.
address.
Yeah.
It's in Hazelhurst.
Yeah.
Cool.
Rob's daddy has just finished up with cataract surgery, and they're telling me the reason why he can't go back to driving if he wants to.
And he's got his license till he's 100.
So does Daddy. So
Yeah.
does Daddy. I've noticed a change in Daddy just this recently. He's just not quite as sharp.
Or as vibrant, maybe.
Just a little bit of a slowdown, a little bit of a tick down, and
Daddy's going to physical therapy, and he keeps them in stitches. They just can't believe
That's
that
my
this
daddy,
guy
too. He is
up
so-
there, and they'll tell him to do 30 reps of this, and he says, "I can do more."
But his walking was he was feeling like he might fall, and it got a little unstable. So we talked to him to go to physical therapy. Now we can't get him to quit.
No, he loves it.
Well, that might be something for Daddy.
It really
too,
is.
you know,
Now
a little
it
physical
really
therapy,
is.
yeah.
All you got to do is get the doctor to prescribe it, and Medicare pay for it.
Okay.
And it's those folks really know what they're doing.
Well,
too.
they do, and it seems like it's just small things.
Yeah.
But they're retraining the brain, and it's
Yeah.
Yeah, he's enjoying it, and he's getting. I can tell it in his walking. It's
his
better.
walking
Better.
is more stable, and
What he don't want to do is be a burden to nobody else. He wants to live by himself till he dies, and that's what we want for him.
We
too,
were
as well,
we've been out there. He had a bout with COVID for the first time just recently, and he stayed with my sister during the time while he was recovering, and wasn't a bad bout, but he was bedridden for a while, because of being exhausted, tired.
yeah.
And so he had to get his sea legs back, but he's back at home now. But we've been going out there just about every Wednesday, all the kids, it's just me and my brother and my sister and his and their wives and spouses and everything.
Well,
we've been out there having dinner, on Wednesday nights and stuff.
But we'd love for you to come.
One of the first dinners we had, we gathered in the living room afterwards, sitting around and listened to old tapes on his PA system, and he started wanting to plan his funeral. Yeah. His sense of humor. He said, "Now I want this and I want this. I don't care about a casket. It can be cheap." And Deb, my sister, said, "They sell them at Walmart." I said, "What? Really? Okay, you can get anything."
Yeah.
And but anyhow, that's we're just a fun-loving, practical, joking family.
Oh yeah, we'd love for you to bring him.
I would love to bring him.
Promise you, he'll enjoy it.
And if any of y'all want to come, well, just it's at the Syrup House. That's all I'm telling you. Well, we love y'all, and we've loved having you on.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate y'all coming and sharing your talent and stories with us. It's
thanks for including us.
It's been a good podcast.
Hey, and one of the things that we didn't do. I'm talking to us old guys. Now you could go ahead and do it,
You gonna put him in our group?
No, he's not there yet. But we didn't write this stuff down. There's
Dave
so many
probably did. He
stories
writes
that
down
we've
there.
forgotten. You probably did.
I got a lot in there. I got about 200 and something, or 125.
Stacy has got every gig that the Bushmen have played since 1989. And when you look at the list,
Documented?
he's got them written up.
And
we
how
did
much
what.
money?
Lord.
When you look at it's amazing.
Wow. I'm
I've
so
got
lost on
some
that.
calendar books, some date books of all the Rebel Airs and Rhythm Oil gigs. I've saved all of them. John Smith kept telling me, burn them, bury them. He's worried about the IRS. I did not burn them or bury them. I kept them.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I'd love to hear y'all do that again sometime.
At least I've got where we played on what date and how much we made. So it's not. And we got a lot of, I got a box full of Rebel Airs memorabilia.
Yeah.
Now, someday I'd love to go through it.
One thing we didn't talk about that we were both a part of was Jukebox Saturday Night Show.
Yeah.
In Dose. We did 254 performances in 23 years.
Wow.
And all around all over the place. And
Orlando.
Atlanta.
Gone.
Albany's got a big multi-layer seating theater.
Municipal auditorium.
We sold it out 14 years in a row.
Yeah.
God almighty.
Yeah. The Bushmen did the music, and they had about 30 people in the cast. Had singers and dancers. And it was quite an experience.
Costumes.
Yeah.
One night I changed costumes 14 times in a 2-hour show.
Wow.
And part of it was somebody couldn't be there, and so I had to fill in and, had to.
Did your shows change?
Or
was it always the
It was
same?
always
Pretty
a
much history of rock and roll.
There's always
basically.
a list of songs, and depending on who couldn't be there as to what got left out.
Yeah.
If it was a song that was
Was
really,
it like the history of music kind of?
yeah,
deal? Or was
it was Buddy Holly, and it was the Supremes, and it was just, it's pretty cool. We had
You only went so far though, right? Mm-hmm. As far as
Yeah.
through the 70s?
Chronologically.
70, mostly 70.
Yeah.
Had one guy that did. There's a lot of stories about that too. One guy that we did Hit the Road Jack with Ray Charles.
Yeah.
You know, if he couldn't be there, we couldn't do that one because only he could do it.
Yeah.
And the girls were out the front singing, "That's right, hit the road, Jack," stuff like that.
Cool.
We had 3 pregnant women in the show. No,
That was before I joined. I don't know.
okay, they were all pregnant, and they did go into the chapel.
No, they did Little Soldier Boy. And then turned around and gave the profile that all of them were pregnant.
That's what it was.
It was
I like
Laura,
going to the chapel.
Laura and
That's
Ann
even funnier.
and Barbara maybe.
Barbara, yeah.
Yeah, that was before I auditioned for the show, so I didn't.
This is a funny story. And I was at y'all's house for one of them jam sessions, and me and Lynn were there. We were out on the carport and just talking with strangers, and this girl walked up in a Minnie Mouse T-shirt, and it was big. And Lynn says, "Oh, when are you expecting?" And the girl says, "I'm not." What do you say?
What do you say?
You cannot back out.
Yeah, I told Lynn, just come with me.
Well, it was at one of those kind of jams that we got married because nobody knew we were getting married. It was a surprise. We set the date based on a drummer friend of
that's
ours who's also a
romantic.
pastor. He gave us 3 dates. Y'all can get married on these dates because it's the only day I don't have something at the church or the band's not playing. And everybody just brought food and thought they were coming for music. And
Surprise wedding.
Yes.
We had to really work hard to get her mama there, get my mama there. And
Your children.
My children. I had to tell some of my children what was going on. My grandson had the ring. And anyway, about, I don't know, 3 or 4 phrases into the ceremony, my mama said, "Is this for real?" Because they've been wanting to get married a long time.
Yeah. And Bree was sitting on one side of my daddy and my mother was on the other, and she's reaching over patting mama on the knee going, "He's a real preacher. He's a real preacher."
Yeah. Y'all know Phil Wilson from Swainsboro?
I've heard that guy's name. Now, didn't he play with
Sam's
y'all?
Drive-In
Sam's
Band.
Drive-In Band. Yeah, I met him.
He's a drummer guru. He's been written up in drummers' world before. He buys and sells drums. If you ever need any used drums, he is the one. He buys and sells them every week. And he's got me a set in the music room, in my living room. I said, "Where'd these come from?" I told him I wanted some, and they're made in England. What is the brand name? I can't remember the brand name.
English.
If I dust them more often, I might know that.
Yeah. Anyway, he said, "I'll tell you the story behind these drums." He said, "This lady called me up and said, I want you to come evaluate these drums and either buy them or help me sell them." So he went around, went to the neighboring town, somewhere where he went. But it packed up. He said, I bought them for my grandson, and 2 weeks after I got them for him, he got killed in a wreck. And they've been packed up in this closet ever since. And it was a double bass drum. It was a double bass drum, red pearl. I'll think of the name in a minute after we quit. But and he parted it out, made 2 drum sets out of it, and he brought them to me, sold them to me real cheap.
How about that?
And then not long ago, when we went up to Swainsboro to play, he came and showed me. He said, "I got something for you." And that case that we put the chords in, he gave it to me, and it was the original snare that went with that set. And he just gave it to me. But Phil is a great drummer, and he's but he knows drums. He'll friend him on Facebook.
We're already friends.
Yeah, he puts drums that he buys up all the time on Facebook.
Tama, Slingerland, Ludwig, Pearl. That's the only ones that I know.
Mapex.
Mapex, yeah.
No, that's not it. But anyway, I can't remember.
Okay.
But it's a
D.
well-known set.
Diarmond or something. No, I'm getting.
It's like like 2 letters. D.
DW.
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 It's not that. But anyway,
DW. I know
it doesn't
that.
really matter. But it's a
DW's a good friend of mine.
Phil, he came to the house and we played a song or two. And he said, let's eat. So we quit. And Phil, I said, "Phil, say grace." He said, "Okay, but before we do that, we're going to have a wedding." Everybody looked around. I said,
Everybody just started leaving the stage area. It just left me and John up there. It was like, no, no.
We got there. Everybody was crying, including us.
So this was a total surprise to most everyone in attendance, except for the two of you and a few people that you had to get
about
there.
75 people there that night.
Yeah.
And they thought they were just coming to a jam party.
Wow.
Even the band didn't know about it?
Oh, no. And then just after the ceremony was over, this was on a Saturday, and one of John's good friends was sitting up in the foyer of the house. And he said, does this mean John doesn't get to go with us to Bike Week on Tuesday? I went, no, he's going to Bike Week. He's spending our honeymoon in Daytona with y'all.
How considerate.
Yeah.
Well, folks, if you're watching this video now, you know why they're still married. He got a good one there.
Yep, sure do.
Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We urge you to step on over to our patreon.com and subscribe, only $5 a month, to our Deep End Something in the Water podcast over there. And write us a message, somethinginthewaterpodcast@gmail.com. Call us, send us some letters, postcards. The address is Waycross, Georgia. And we appreciate y'all very much. Thank y'all for being our guests tonight. And
Thank
we'll
y'all for having us.
see you the next time.
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might.